So Life Lessons TV, look, it's going to be sort of, I think, a little bit edgy. I think it's going to be a little bit off the cuff. I'm letting you know now that once I get excited about a topic, I might swear a little bit. I might let a couple of curses go. So it's one of those things where I think I just want things to be kind of real. G'day there, Adrian D'Amico here for another episode of Life Lessons TV, episode number 11. I'm joined by my good buddy, Jamie Stenhouse.
Hello,
welcome.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you here, man. I've been wanting to get you on the show from the moment that I thought about it, because I've lined up honestly, the people that I admire the most, and I want to say that without any, trying to blow up any smoke up your skirt, so to speak, but I really have admired you from afar, and you don't come to Sydney very often.
No.
But when you do, I try and catch up and pick your brain. For everyone out there, I've downloaded Jamie's programs and all those sorts of things, but for the people that don't know you, tell me about, introduce yourself, who are you, where you're from, what's your story?
Well, that's my story. I'm an entrepreneur at heart. I'm an artist at heart. I've owned clothing companies, I've owned other agencies. I'm now working in, I'm working on my next agency as well. Just pretty much I create products that I love and that I want to give to the world, So the actual platform for that now is the new agency. So pretty much all that is geared towards internet marketing online. So I help my clients and customers to generate customers online in any industry.
Yeah, awesome. So tell people, you've got a fascinating background, and the main reason why I wanted to bring on the show is because I think people have a lot of limiting beliefs, and I'm no exclusion to that. I think at the end of the day, I certainly have my hang-ups, and at times where I feel like life's getting the better of me. But I love your story, and when I read about it and when I think about it, it just makes me sort of harden the fuck up, so to speak, and get back into it. So can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, for sure. So I dropped out of high school at the age of 15 or 16, at the end of year 10. I dropped out of high school because I had a hardcore speaking impediment to the point where I couldn't introduce myself, I couldn't talk inside classes. If I got asked upon inside class, I usually give the incorrect answer, and that would obviously be sort of held against me as well. So end of year 10, I was aware that in year 11 and year 12, there's a lot of presentations. So I was like, no, too much, I'm out of here. So dropped out of high school, went into a 3-year course in IT, because I love to hide behind keyboards and not ever have to actually talk. So I was like, how can I do that, professionally and earn income? IT. So went into IT for about 3 years, came out of that and went to get employed. And every employer was like, well, can you talk to our clients? Can you do your help desk? Can you, answer the client calls? And I just learned quickly that because I had refused to talk, and I went for 3 years learning how to not talk professionally, I was like, well, that plan kind of didn't work out. So from there, I simply acquired my first client, which was sort of an IT-ish client. I think they want some flyers done and that. So I quickly learned that I could get clients without having to use the actual voice. So I went online, learned email marketing, advertising, and just really how to get clients and how to earn income online without having to use my voice. So some people are pushed into a industry because they enjoy it or because it has a high income. I was pushed into mine because I had to learn how to earn income without using the voice. So that it's a blessing, I think, because otherwise we wouldn't be here if I had done year 12, and who knows what could have happened.
And what's amazing to me about that is that you actually call it a blessing.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course.
Well, look, let's be real about it. I mean, some people would take the fact that they have a speech impediment and say, well, if I can't communicate and I can't get jobs and all that kind of stuff, well then that's it, I'll be a labourer and I'll just go and sweep the streets or stack shelves or something like that.
Yeah.
Whereas you didn't do that. I mean, you sort of thought outside the box. It's a bit more creative. You obviously got that inside of you. So that's something that's, I just love it. I think at the end of the day, a lot of people, in particular at a young age, because I know I look young, but I'm approaching 40. I'll be 38 this year. But how old are you?
26 as of last week. Yeah,
26, yeah. Oh, you're born on Christmas Day, right?
Christmas Day.
Yeah. So 26 years old, I mean, for this day and age, with the amount of turmoil and troubles that young people have faced, I just think that that's an amazing quality.
I think it's kind of linked to I feel like I didn't have any other choice. It was either like not eat or like learn how this internet thing works and get some clients online.
Gotcha.
So once that really took off, I was like, well, I'm pretty confident now. So and then naturally through practice and through training, I learned how to fluently speak. You know, so it was a very interesting process that I had to grow through.
All right. So can you tell me? That the way that you've explained it, it's a condensed version, right? It sounds like it's a very smooth transition, I guess, from a listener's point of view. They would go, speech impediment, dropped out of school, got IT job. All right, we're done. Okay.
Yeah.
But there must have been some points where you weren't feeling that great.
Oh yeah, I mean, like going through the 3-year IT course, I didn't really have any real end plan besides go to class and play games at night. Like that was my 3-year life.
Right.
And
how did that affect you personally? Like in terms of, you come across obviously very confident, but were you just the shy guy? I
was very introvert. I was very, very introvert. I think it comes organically if you can't communicate, because I had to learn how to communicate, not who I was, but talk in a way that was somewhat fluent. So I would avoid phrases, I would avoid words, and that wouldn't be what I really wanted to say. So it was always every day was trying to avoid a landmine of having this massive block and every day was just stressful. Trying to tiptoe around every little word, So going through my TAFE course, it was pretty much that, but having some sort of plan as to I won't have to talk ever again, hopefully. So going through the TAFE course for 3 years, just learning how to work behind a computer, learning everything which I know now, it's web, graphic, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And just learning how that all works, and then hopefully being able to work behind a desk and not ever have to talk to anyone.
But what about growing up though? I mean, do you think that it's if you just got amazingly supportive, network, friends, how were you in terms of...
I was the only child, so I think, I don't know, for me as a child, it felt very, it felt organic to keep to myself, to not, share what was happening with friends or mum or that, So they didn't really know the actual intensity of it. So support-wise, I just kind of took every day as it came, and try to plan my whole afternoon during high school, to not see anyone, to not talk to anyone, and to always sit at the back, or just to be so cautious, and to always look preoccupied, so that I wasn't ever called upon. So,
did you ever find it frustrating that you wanted to say so much in a situation, and then but couldn't or didn't want to,
of course,
for fear of ridicule or whatever?
Yeah, I mean that was every day. Just example, going to get lunch every day. You would wait at the end of the line so everyone goes through first, have something to eat, and then you get to the front, and then there's a new line up behind you. So you're oh my god. So you have to point to some food that is close by. So I'll have that one.
Really?
As opposed to going, I'll have this with this and that. You just
was it something that brought it on that made it worse in terms of
anxiety, pressure? Probably just from being judged. I think was a huge one. I think that holds a lot of people back, and really throws off everyone. just to be judged and to not feel a part of a group as well. So, yeah, it was just like that every day. And there were times that having to eat eat out, like with friends as well. Like you had to get them to order your food, or having to get a cab home, and having to lie where you live. You're like, oh, I'm just up here, and then having to walk back. Like every little thing that you have to say has to be pre-calculated, and yeah.
But it's probably made you sharp because you're always thinking 2 minutes ahead.
That is actually true. Yeah, that's true. So in 2012, I met other people who have what I have as well, and everyone's really switched on because they're constantly trying to calibrate always, So that's a blessing that you are always switched on and that you are always present to what's happening. But
what do you think was the turning point? Like when you really had that moment of you know what? I've proved it to myself, and now I can still have that fear, I can still have that anxiety, I can still have that nervousness or pressure, whatever you might want to call it. But you can also say, you know what? I can do this.
Yeah.
Is there a
turning point?
Pivotal moment you think that?
I think there's two answers to that. One is that it wasn't a quick turning point. It was more of a slow turning point over 3 or 4 years from executing again and again, and calling up clients and heading out every day, and be able to talk to anyone I want. But also every day is a turning point, because that will always be part of who I am, at my core. So every day I'm will I go out and talk, or will I hang and just answer emails?
Yes.
Will I call up to order food, or will I do it online? So it's trying to not push yourself, but just be aware of your choices, and that every choice whereby I choose to not talk is pushing me further back. So it's always how can I talk and share more and more? So
I think as I've gotten to know you, because I'm just a talker, right? So I'll just talk till the cows come home, so to speak. And then every time I'm picking up, getting on Skype or picking up the phone to call you, and then I'd sort of get not a no answer or whatever, but then I get a message back. I'm thinking, I'm calling this guy, but then he messages back. I can't understand it, but then it clicked to me. Once I got to know you more.
Got it.
That's obviously your preferred method,
I think that's the most so that's for two reasons. Obviously, it is because I might have been exhausted so much. So if I'm really tired, my speech is terrible. Yeah. So that could have been because of that, or also because I like to automate as much as I can, so I'm not answering phones as I'm doing emails or as I'm in client meetings.
Yeah. And you and I are very similar, because we kick on through the night and
oh my God, yes.
and do shit when everyone's asleep. So 2 o'clock this morning, I'm bolting together WordPress sites and stuff like that, and
insane.
then finally getting it right and going to bed, and getting up at 7:30 to come here, sort of thing. So, and you've got this thing about powering on through the night and being your most productive.
Yeah, of course. So that is because, and that's just learned through years of just doing work and seeing that after 11 p.m. I'm really sharp. So why not try to embrace that, So after 12, I think the right side of your brain comes alive. So it's a real creative side where you come up with these great ideas and you can do amazing work. So I tend to begin my days, if I can, at 11 p.m. and then work till about 2, 3, 4 p.m. and then sleep. So very strange, I know.
It's not to me. I find
normal.
it whatever. I mean, my routine is come home, do dinner, hang out with the kids, watch your favourite show, read them a story, take them to bed, and then go to the gym. And then when I come back from the gym, it's normally 10:30 or 11:15.
Yeah.
And then I'm ready to rock and roll, So it's easy to fit in. Tim Ferriss talks about your 4-hour work week. Well, mine's kind of between 11 and 2, 11 and 3, just about. When I'm really, really pushing, for programs or getting some of my events out online, that's when I find I'm on a deadline and I'm ready to go.
The sharpest tools come out. Yeah.
All right, so let's go on from that, because obviously what I'm sensing from you is that you're playing to your strengths. So you haven't focused on the lack or the weakness in your ability, in your life, and what you haven't got, you tend to always have this habit of focusing on the opportunities, playing to your strengths. So if you're up at between 11 and 5 in the morning or something like that, well then so be it, and that's your productive time.
Yeah.
And then even with the fact that you've gone through like this IT route, am I right there? I mean, like
that's right. I mean, one thing that I learned very quickly is to play to your strengths, not to your wants. An example I was talking to a friend of mine ages ago, and he was keen to have a high income. So he was keen to get into property, but he's a terrible communicator, like terrible. I'm like, don't play to your wants, play to your strengths. So like me, like I'm not, or then I was not a good communicator. So then I played to my online strengths as opposed to trying to learn how to close clients head on. So always play to your strengths, not to your wants. So if you want a high income, if you want a car, house, whatever, how can you achieve that through what you're already
good at?
Yeah,
absolutely. So I'm curious to know what is your real driving force? Because like you said, you're 26, did you say? 26 at
26,
Christmas, right?
Yeah.
So you feel old, Jesus. So and it feels like you've really accomplished so much in terms of an online space, because not a lot of people would appreciate just how many companies, how many different industries, and how many people you're working with, and helping them launch their products and services and businesses and things like that. So what's really exciting you, like going forward? Do you plan 5 years in advance? Or is it like a typical Gen Y? It's like let's just live for today.
I try to plan as much as I can because I'm very much a creative. So anything that catches like my eye, I will tend to chase up, and it's a terrible habit, but it's helped me out as well.
Yeah.
So I plan usually 1 year in advance because I'm always open to new opportunities. And the reason for that is that I have a lot of companies and ideas that I want to launch, things that are not even linked to what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
So I usually plan about a year in advance, and what drives me is a few things. One is a challenge, just the challenge primarily, and the challenge of getting a new product out there that people will enjoy. So that's a big one for me. And also I'm against, because in our online world there's a lot of fluff. Like there's so many crappy, low tier, crappy products that everyone buys, and it hurts all of us because then they judge the whole industry, right?
Yes.
So currently I'm trying to correct the whole online world by not calling out people, but by showing them what you should actually be doing online, because it's so easy to get up and running online, but you don't get very far.
Best practice sort of thing?
Yeah, so I'm really about quality control. How much of a good quality product can I get out there to everyone?
Yes.
So I really want all of my products, programs, anything I launch 10 years from now to ultimately be the highest ambition of the prospects. So I want my product to be on their wall, hang go, wow, like that. I love that one day.
Yes.
So if it be a TV show or a film, or say a new clothing company, property, hotels, whatever it is, I want them to be that product, to own that is my goal. So I put that quality into everything that I do.
I love it. So tell me, I mean, I could talk to you for days. Yeah? Honestly, I've got so many questions, but I mean, I'm respectful of your time, and obviously, I'm not quite sure how much film we've got left to keep going with this. But I want to know, if you can share your life lessons or a life lesson with anyone listening out loud there. I know, yeah, that's going to be tough, but particularly with you, I think there's bound to be someone, and I come personally from a position of, there's a lot of days in my week, and let's be honest about this, where I wake up with fear, with doubt, with am I doing the right thing? I mean, I screwed up a talk a couple of weeks ago, which I blogged about, and the host had a few words to say to me, and it near fucking crumbled me, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I know that people are they're in situations where they want to achieve great things, but like I said, the main thing that I'm getting from all of this is you played to your strengths. You haven't used any sort of ailment, impediment as a reason to play little or play small or fall short of your truest potential. So that being said, if there's a parting gift, if there's a life lesson you can share, what would it be?
Oh my God. Well, I kind of operate on different insights from my own life every year, or say every half year. Currently, I'm just learning again more and more to really just execute and just to look through everything through the lens of my higher self. You know, so like everyone has that perfect that perfect person that they would like to ultimately be. You know, like everybody. Like, you know, rich or like really healthy or like, you know, like having all these companies. You can't go look through their lens and go, well, what would he be doing right now? So, example, in my own life is, say I would like to eventually own 20 to 40 companies, right? So that person, what would he be doing every day? Well, he would be, you know, getting out of bed early, hitting the gym, eating well, going to client, like just absolutely grinding it out. So then you're not trying to look for everything through who you are, but through who you want to actually be. So pretty much you have to act as if. So you act as if you're that person. You just go. You just have to execute. And the other thing as well is that it takes 10 times as much work as like we all think it will. You know. So in November last year, I did a whole month where I did 10 times the actual amount that I would normally do. So like, you know, 10 times programs online, client meetings, interviews, emails, and surprisingly, the outcomes were like phenomenal. So you just got to go so hard and so quick, and in doing so, you don't have time to like care, you know, like what's going on, or you know, like who says what. You just go, and as soon as you pause for like half an hour, you will feel exhausted and you'll get judged. So I think just keep going, keep your head down, have that intent, but not be attached to the outcome as well. And just act as if you're that person, and look for everything through their lens. So you know, if you come home from work and you're a little bit tired, that person probably will just keep going. He'll be like, "Who cares? I have this to do. Let's do it." Gotcha. You know. So
I love it.
That's an overarching theme that I'm trying to implement every day right now.
Jamie, you're an absolute legend, mate.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you very much.
There you go, guys. Adrian here, Life Lessons episode number 11. See you on the next episode.
Cool.
So, Life Lessons TV. Look, it's going to be sort of, I think, a little bit edgy. I think it's going to be a little bit off the cuff. I'm letting you know now that once I get excited about a topic, I might swear a little bit. I might let a couple of curses go. So it's one of those things where I think I just want things to be kind of real.